Welcome to Mythology Unfiltered. I'm Laura Crockett. In the good old ancient days, when the gods would come down from their heaven or up from the sea, back in those days when the gods would walk among human beings, the gods acted, well, rather human-like. It was one of the reasons they lost their power. When a new god of formidable strength and kindness walked among humanity for just a few short years and taught them a new way of being, the ancients were shoved aside. The gods, however, were not forgotten. They still had a place on this earth and a part to play. All those interactions with those human beings aeons ago gave us a canon of stories we call mythology. And from myths, we learn much. The Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Jung used the characters in the myths to develop his personality archetypes. The English word myth was developed in the 19th century. It comes from the Latin mythos, which comes from the Greek muthos. Simply put, it means stories. Those stories can be sublime or terrifying. They can be complex, tall tales about the origins of the gods and their universe. Myths can be dramatic, like those stories used by the classical Greek dramatists. Ovid, in his Metamorphoses, used enchanting tales. The brothers Grimm researched and recorded hundreds of fabulous morality tales. Myths then are part historical narrative, part tall tales, and part morality lesson. Like the story of our grand hero, Theseus, because we know that some of the characters in the story did live, it is part history and part tall tale. There was a Crete in ancient times. There were bull dancers. There was a lovely palace in the city of Knossos. There may have even been a real King Minos. There was a King Aegeus of Athens. Whether or not he had a son named Theseus who inherited his throne, that is not important. What is important is that these characters represent the best and the worst of humanity. I tell the story unfiltered, and bits of it are a bit rough. So beware if you are under the age of 16 or highly sensitive. The story needs to be told unabridged so that the real impact of its meaning is not lost. Minos is a powerful and successful king of the ancient world, of ancient Crete. He is married to one of the most beautiful women, Pasiphae. She's fecund, gives him many children. Minos gives Pasiphae fabulous jewels and a wonderful palace to live in. Minos also throws huge religious celebrations, like all men of his era. He did this for the god of his choice. He chooses Poseidon as his main god, number one in Crete. Poseidon is the god of the oceans, of the lakes and rivers and earthquakes. The animals associated with him are the playful dolphins, the noble horses, and the fertile bulls. In thanks to this god for all of his many successes and riches, Minos decides to throw a huge festival. For this festival, he asks the god for a special gift that will be turned around and sacrificed back to the god. He asks for a pure white, gorgeous, perfect bull. Festivals to the gods would be much like a carnival or Mardi Gras. There would be parades of singers, musicians, and young girls and boys marching toward the temple and its altar. All would be colorful, joyful. What god wouldn't be flattered by all this adulation? Poseidon decides to accommodate Minos. A few days before the festival, as Pasiphae and her ladies are walking along the beach, a pure white, beautifully formed, perfect bull comes walking up out of the ocean. At first, the ladies are frightened. What's this? A bull from the ocean? But then Pasiphae calms them and says, no, this is the gift from the god. Pasiphae admires the perfect bull's shape and form. The night before the festival, Minos begins to feel sorry for the perfect bull. Why, he rationalizes, should this bull die when Poseidon has so many other perfectly perfect bulls? Minos thinks that, well, Minos, should have the perfect bull, not Poseidon. As soon as he thinks this thought, he brushes it out of his mind. However, Minos is a man who is used to getting what he wants when he wants it. It just so happens that Minos has his own, nearly as perfectly white, nearly as well-formed, and nearly as perfect bull of his own. In the middle of the night, Minos, with his own hands, takes the perfect bull, the gift from Poseidon, and leads him and hides him away in a back pasture. The next day, it is the nearly as perfect bull that is led through the streets during the festival and taken to the temple of Poseidon, and there, up on the high altar, it is that bull which is sacrificed. Do you think Poseidon is fooled? How silly is Minos to think he can get away with this substitution? For his part, the god is dearly disappointed in the royal couple. He knows he must punish them, and he thinks of a very unique way in doing so. He decides that he must withdraw his protection from the royal couple, from both, since both coveted the perfect bull. Soon, Pasiphae finds herself overwhelmed with an abominable desire to know the bull carnally. She lusts after him. She sends for the inventor and architect Daedalus to come and make her some sort of device where she can satisfy this lust. He refuses. This is an abomination. She tells him that if he does not obey her and come up with a way for her to satiate herself, he will be sent away. He thinks he has no choice. Daedalus creates a wooden cow for Pasiphae. In this fake beast, the Queen of Crete is able to get her way, and the perfect bull impregnates his human lover. What Pasiphae gives birth to is not human nor beast. It is both. She suckles it in its infancy. For a time, she even loves him. Yet in time, the illusion dissipates. That thing came from her body. She prays for the forgetfulness of madness. That prayer is not answered. She feels immense guilt.
She curses Daedalus. Yet it is Minos who has the greater culpability. He begs the forgiveness of the god, and then with his own hand he leads the perfect bull up to Poseidon's temple, up on the high altar, and there slaughters him as he should have done in the first place. He then claims the half-child, half-beast as his own son. He is named Minos' bull, that is to say, Minotaur. And for a while, all is well, all is tranquil. One day, a child, lost in the palace of Theseus, takes a wrong turn in the hallways and comes face to face with Minotaur. The child, seeing the half-beast and half-human, screams out in terror. Minotaur, realizing the child is terrified of him, is angered and strikes the child, knocking him dead. The incident is kept secret. When other children die and some are eaten, the silence can no longer be kept. In sadness, yet with relief, Minos has Daedalus construct a large labyrinth underneath the palace. Here, Minotaur, now considered a savage beast, is locked up and hidden away. Only Minos and occasionally Pasiphae ever see Minotaur again, except for the soldiers who guard him day and night, as he is kept under lock and key in the dungeon or the labyrinth of the palace at Knossos. Oh, and except for the convicted criminals who are sent into the labyrinth, there to be discovered by Minotaur and killed by him and eaten. And that is the way things remain until Minos goes to war with Aegeus of Athens. No one likes to be deceived, least of all a god. Yet deception is not the first sin of the royal couple, Minos and Pasiphae. Their first sin is materialism, or the love of concrete goods and worldly things above the love of the god and personal honor. Both Minos and Pasiphae were corrupted by their desire to own the bull in one way or the other. And when they were corrupted by this materialism, they didn't get a perfect bull. They got instead the perfect monster.